On this episode of RC Kicks, we're talking about RC news, everything that's been going on over the last few weeks, and hopefully what's coming soon. Hi and welcome to RC Kicks. Well, the headlining news is Kyosho has been sold to a bank. Restructuring has already taken place and the former president and CEO will be staying on as an advisory role. His name is Aki Suzuki. His full name is Akihisha. Sorry, killing pronunciations here. And he'll be staying on as an advisory role. This is kind of normal when a company comes in and takes over another company. The idea is to keep the shareholders comfortable that the person that was running it is still staying around, and they'll stay around for a period of time while the transition goes on. New management say that they're looking to expand their Asian sales market as well as focus on growth markets, which is kind of standard. Hopefully this means that Kyosho will be looking more afield than the domestic market, because it says that the reason this has come about is because of sluggish sales in the domestic market. Now, you've got to look at it from a Japanese business point of view, that they do focus a lot on internal domestic sales, which kind of makes sense. From if you start a business in a country, you tend to focus on that part of the business. The problem comes with some Japanese businesses is that they focus so much on the Japanese market, and that is very different to, say, the European market and the American market. So what tends to happen sometimes is they'll constantly look at what they can do for the domestic market, and it doesn't really translate to other markets like the American market or the European market. And then products don't sell well, or they're not marketed correctly, or they bring out products that just aren't popular in these other markets. So that can kind of happen. So hopefully this means that the new people coming in to take over Kyosho are going to save it, for one, which is brilliant. I kind of look at this as good news, that it hasn't just gone bankrupt or something like that and we've just lost it. And hopefully this means they will focus on the European and the American and the Australian markets more, and the Asian market, and put products out that suit those markets more than just constantly focusing on the Japanese market. So will we see any more re-releases from their back catalogue? Hopefully this means yes. Now, they've got quite a few back catalogue cars that are epic, like the mids, so hopefully we'll see those being pushed forward, because it's easy money for them to push out a re of a mid, Turbo Optima mid, and really make some money. So hopefully this will be pushed up the production line, and fingers crossed. Obviously I have no information on that, but it kind of makes more business sense to then push those out to the markets like the American market and the UK and European market. So we'll just have to wait and see, but the good news we have to take away from that is that Kyosho still exists. So tell me what you think. Kyosho being bought out, good thing, bad thing? Do you think we'll see more re-releases of vintage cars, or do you think they'll focus more on ready-to-runs? Comment below, let me know what you think. On news closer to home, Mardave, the UK manufacturer, have just released their 50th anniversary Mini that's just sold out instantly and is now being pushed out to everybody, and they should be receiving them this week. I am lucky enough to have a pre-production one on the show, and I'll be building it this week. So stay tuned for this one. Please like and subscribe if you want to see that, because it'll be coming soon, as well as a lot of other builds. Also, Mardave are about to release their Team Mardave Mini Racer 21, which will be released mid-April. You're looking at about £65 with a body. So stay tuned for that one, and I'll probably splash out some money and buy one and get one on the show, as yeah, big fan, getting to really like some of these little cars. So hopefully that will sell well, and we'll see more from Mardave soon. Some other news that's just coming out as I'm speaking to you now. WLToys, the producer of the 124019 that I have here, that's been a massive success and I am a big fan, have just announced that they're releasing the 1/10th version. Well, it's been announced a while now, but it's actually coming out due April the 19th. Now this is the 104001. Yeah, the names are terrible. 1/10th Buggy. Now, if you want to see some early footage of this, the RCKiwis have just got hold of a pre-production one. It's not exactly what you're going to get, minus the motor, but it's very close. I recommend going checking them guys out. They're a really good channel, and they've actually been driving it around, and it's looking very promising. So go check them out. I'll put a link in the description. Now, you're looking at a ready-to-run 1/10th Buggy for £114. Which is insane money, and I'm getting one on the channel and I bought one. There's also a 10% discount link in the description, so go check that out. Unfortunately, I didn't have the discount code, so I paid full price for mine, but it should be coming and I'll be able to put it on the channel, give it a good review, and see whether it's worth it or not. But it's looking quite promising going by the RCKiwis footage, so I recommend checking them out. But it's interesting to see these new buggies coming out from China, and again putting more pressure on the likes of Tamiya and maybe a bit of Kyosho. Maybe that's partly why we're starting to see their sales are struggling. Do you think we might see the same thing at Tamiya? A few of you said no, they're completely different, but looking at the prices, they're being very aggressive. And are they starting to be better than the entry kits from Tamiya? It's a controversial one, and I have to say, being a big Tamiya fan, I'm worried about them. These kits aren't very good, so stay tuned. We'll know more over the coming months. In the world of Tamiya, the CC02 Mercedes-Benz Unimog Blue Grey, which is a painted and cut out body, is due very soon. I've got a 16th of April release. Now, why do I bring this up? It's kind of been known about for a while. Well, I'm getting one on the show, sponsored by L&Lmodels. You're looking at £259. Why am I so excited about this? Well, I have the CC02 Mercedes-Benz and I love it. The chassis is brilliant and it's punches well above its weight. If you haven't seen any videos for these, go check them out. I'll put them up here. I've abused the life out of this and I love this little thing. So I'm excited to get the Unimog one. Why? Well, it's a quirky looking car, but also it comes with the better tyres. One thing that these CC02 suck on is the original tyres you get in the kit are awful, but the Unimog comes with these tyres that I've upgraded on here, and they're much softer and it really helps this kit. So when that comes in, I'll be looking forward to building that, as well as having a body that's all pre-painted and pre-cut. It will be very different to this, even though it uses the same chassis. While we're talking about Tamiya, I wanted to cover the VQS that came out a few months ago. Lovely car. Hasn't sold very well. There seems to be stock availability in the UK everywhere, and that says a lot because Tamiya is sold out everywhere. So to see there's lots of VQSs still around, that's very worrying. Also, it's really driven by the price of the kit. They were very, very expensive, but we've started to see some deals. I checked this morning and the cheapest you can get one is £299, but I've seen them sell on eBay for £290. So does this mean that we're going to see more discounts of this car? I don't know, we'll have to stay tuned on that one. It's an interest. It is a lovely car, but I think Tamiya maybe have just pushed their prices that little bit too high, going on just the sales of people and the comments that I'm getting that people like it, but they just can't justify that kind of price. Now that kind of leads us on to the whole market and what's going on. I will be doing a future video very soon on the current market, as there's a lot of changes going on where prices are ramping up and things like that. So I'll cover that in a future video. So don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell notification so you will be notified when these videos come out. Now, we don't have a great deal coming out of Tamiya at the moment. The releases in February are now starting to drib and drab in, and we've still got a few of those, but there hasn't been any big news other than the Unimog. But we have the Shizuka Hobby Show 2021, which is May the 13th to May the 14th. Now it hasn't been cancelled, but it has been changed. It used to be that the public could go in on one day. They've now stopped that, so it's purely going to be for commercial only. Hopefully that means we're still going to see some Tamiya releases around the May 13th and May 14th. I have no information on what that will be. I'm hoping that maybe we'll see the Falcon then. I honestly don't know. I was told that the Falcon is much more towards the end of the year, but hey, hopefully, fingers crossed, we will see that, or maybe a few other vintage buggies or road cars. So keep your fingers crossed, and as soon as I know more, we will let you know. And a bit more information closer to home, MRO Racing, owned by David Orbell, has been working on the Inspire4, a radical racing buggy that has no towers, front or rear. The front and rear suspension is all laid down. The idea is to put the center of gravity as low as possible so that you get better turning and better track performance. Now hopefully I'll be able to get one on the channel. So who is MRO Racing? Well, David Orbell, he's a regional champion, he's a racer, but also he was connected to the X10 10th technology development and the X11 for Team Extreme, so he knows his stuff, and also he is an engineering whiz as well. So I'll get one on the show as soon as I can. And will we see more of these being produced? Is this the new next design phase for racing buggies? Be interesting to find out, and I love the idea of thinking outside the box, and hopefully it's going to do well. So stay tuned. As soon as I have more, I'll let you know. In the world of Schumacher Racing, things are still quite quiet. After the cancellation of the XLS and the Top Cat, there has been no announcements of any re-releases for vintage buggies, Cat 2000 or anything like that. So that's a bit of a shame, and I keep my fingers crossed. One good bit of news, that Schumacher Racing are looking to expand their engineering team and have just put a job application out. So if you are a budding 2D or 3D CAD designer and you've got mechanical engineering experience and you'd like to get into the world of RC, they are looking to take someone on to expand their engineering team. So go check them out, link in the description, and I see that as good news because hopefully that means they're expanding because business is going well. And last but not least, MCI Racing, the manufacturer of all vintage decals, have changed their materials to improve its colour and definition. Now, Adam from RC Action Australia has just received some Top Force Evo decals, and he said to me this morning that the improvements are fantastic. So it's great to see MCI continually pushing forward with better and better production of vintage decals. Now, if you don't know who MCI Racing are, I'll put a link in the description. They are fantastic for getting hold of old decals if you're restoring your buggies, as obviously most of the manufacturers do not supply the decals anymore on vintage kits. Anyway, thanks very much. Please like and subscribe as it helps the YouTube algorithm find and promote these videos. If you'd like to see more content from behind the scenes for RC Kicks, go check out the RC Kicks Patreon page, and I'll see you in one of these videos shortly.